Hey, you guys, and happy Friday. This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for a brand new episode of Friend or Foe. All right, that is the brand new episode. Now, as you guys already know, I've been talking about this since the end of 2024, and now we're in 2025, and March is the official beginning of the new 2025 for Scotty by Nature TV. Now, you know that I've been talking about pivoting. I'm going to get into some music content as well as reality TV character analyzations. You all will be getting those things between Thursday through Sunday. Okay. You'll be getting all that. You'll be getting character analyzations between Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and you'll be getting music from Saturday through Sunday. All right. And Friend or Foe is one of my character analyzations, right? And now I've decided that I'm going to start off Friend or Foe with Shamea Morton and Porsha Williams. Now, both of them are on the show, Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, which first started airing this past Sunday night. They're both on the show as peach holders. Now, we already know that this season marks Portia's first appearance on the Housewives of Atlanta in 3 years. This marks Shamea's first appearance on the Real Housewives of Atlanta as a peach holder. We do know that we first saw Shamea as as an official friend of in season 8, season 9, season 10, as well as season 13. Now, since Shamia and Portia's relationship is the talk of the town right now because the show just started airing, and because we saw in the official trailer for the new season, we saw Shamia sit down with Portia and confront her about some things that's happened in their relationship that's hurt her. And now their friendship is now under a microscope. Now, what we do know is that since they've been doing press for the new season of The Housewives of Atlanta, Shamia and Portia have been very vague about their relationship. Now, I heard in the streets of Atlanta that Shamia and Portia are not cool at this particular moment. And if you were at the premiere party, you would know that there were no pictures of Shamia and Portia, but there were definitely pictures of Shamia and Kelly, and there were pictures of Portia and Phaedra. Shamia and Kelly are now very, very close and bosom buddies. And we already know that when Phaedra comes around, Portia is going to be right over there with Phaedra. So what I decided to do, since this is the first episode of Friend or Foe, and this is the brand new season of the Housewives of Atlanta, why not start things off with these two beauties? Okay. Now we first saw Shamea Morton in season 5, which was Portia's very first season, and y'all may not remember it, but we saw Shamea in two different episodes. The very first time we saw Shamea was at Portia's event where she mistakenly called Kenya Miss America versus Miss USA. She was there. She was also in another scene with Portia where I think it was Candy and Cynthia, and it was at this damn rush this I don't know, I know it was an international cuisine restaurant that they were at, and they asked Portia to sing. And then when she started to get ready to sing, that's when the waiter came over and they were saved by the bell. Now, by season 8, that is when we first saw Shamia in action as an official friend of the show, and she started off at Kenya's more hair care party. She was talking about the samples having water in it, and Shamia found out that she was being shady. Not Shamia, Kenya found out that she was being shady, and when they did the boat thing on Lake Lanier, you know what I'm saying, Kenya decided to kick Shamia off the boat. So from this point on, Shamia was known as, Portia's bestie, ride or die. But what people didn't understand was during this time, not only was she's Portia's ride or die, but she was also Candy's ride or die as well. By season 9, we get into Portia. Portia has made some drastic changes at this particular point, right? She was just married to Cordell Stewart. You know Cordelia Stewart, the gay ass nigga with the big ass that was caught with a man once before, allegedly. Yeah, that man. So Portia, after she got divorced from Cordell Stewart, she started doing things like fighting, like dragging Kenya off the stage, calling herself the Princess of Thotland, and all of those different things. I'm guessing she was finally living out her life as the video girl that she used to be. However, her friendship with Phaedra began to grow, and that signaled trouble for Shamea. But not only did Phaedra and Portia's friendship begin to grow, so did Shamea and Candy's friendship begin to grow. And not to mention, her relationship with Phaedra began to fizzle. During that time, um, Porsha and Candy had fallen out due to Porsha involving herself in the affairs of Candy and Phaedra's friendship. And then when she was going hard for Phaedra, Shamea was like, I just got to say this. I just remember that, Phaedra tried to holler at my ex-husband. And she was walking around, rubbing up against him like, excuse me. So when you can do that, I don't put shit past you. Right. So then Sheree brought the information back to Phaedra. And Phaedra was like, well, Shamea sleep with everybody's husband. So who talks about that? And when Phaedra said that about Shamea, Porsha sat there and she never said a word. She didn't even defend her. So at this moment, they're thinking that the cameras are off, and they wasn't. And they wasn't. They were still rolling. Phaedra was like, Candy, Shamea and Candy and Todd, they're like this. They fucking. And then that's when Sheree was like, you a motherfucking lie. She looks at Porsha and says, she a motherfucking lie. You knew that? And then Porsha said, I'm just saying, she close to both of them. And then that's when Phaedra say, she doing both. So the next thing you know, it was time for Shamea's engagement party that was thrown by Candy Burris. Sheree came and told Shamea exactly what was said at the table when she and Porsha and Phaedra had lunch. She says, Phaedra said some things about you, Shamea. Shamea wanted to know what was going on and what was said. So Sheree said, well, Phaedra said, well, Shamea sleeps with everybody's husbands in Atlanta. And then Shamea was like, and what did Porsha say? She didn't say anything, Sheree said. Shamea was obviously hurt when it was brought to her. Next thing you know, she came to Porsha and she was basically saying all of the things that Phaedra had been saying about Porsha behind her back, like calling her bricks for brains, saying that she was dumb, all of those different things. And, Porsha just did not want to believe it. And so when the episode aired, Shamea took to social media to say that people are very, very trifling and I'm very hurt and betrayed. At this particular moment, Portia was so glued to Phaedra's hip that she would listen to anything that Phaedra ever said about her. And she never really took up for Shamea. When Portia was beefing with Kenya, Shamea had her back. And I get it, at the end of the day, like when you're friends with two folks that don't like each other, you really want to stay out of the shit. But at the end of the day, Portia didn't do that. She didn't stay out the shit. What she chose to do was to involve herself in it and perpetuate the lies. So it always humors me when I find people out that says that Shamea wasn't a good friend of Portia, or Shamea was thirsty for airtime, or Shamea did this and Shamea did that. And I always felt like, are we watching the same show? Portia turned on Shamea first. Does anybody not remember that? So when they got to the season 9 reunion, Shamea showed up at her first reunion to confront Phaedra and Portia. Portia apologized to Shamea, and she felt like she was caught up in the tea in what was going on, and she was wrong. Kenya called out Portia for promptly defending Phaedra against Candy, but she didn't have that same energy for Shamea when it came down to Phaedra. And it was absolutely correct. I don't know what was going on during season 8 and season 9, but Portia was really under Phaedra's spell. It was to the point to where once she got to be very, very tight and very, very close knit with Phaedra, her relationships with both Candy and Shamea both began to fall apart. And I never understood how you can sit there and allow someone that you just met a couple of years ago to talk crap about your childhood best friend and perpetuate a lie, something that you know is a lie. But even if it is true, why would you repeat that to a person that don't even like her? We go on to season 10. For those of you that may not know, they offered Shamea a peach in season 10, but her husband didn't want to do the show, and they didn't want her because they wanted her husband as well. I remember it was her bridal shower, and Portia showed up, and Portia made up every excuse in the world to not come to Shamea's wedding, and Shamea was very upset by it. And Portia got mad at Shamea for bringing it up in front of the group. But my thing is this: how can you get mad with her about saying that she was surprised to see her at the event? or asking her about the condition that she was in front of everybody. But you sat there and you perpetuated the lies that Phaedra told about Candy and Todd and Shamia on national TV for 4,000 people, 4 million people to see. So I never could understand why she felt like she was the one that was wronged in this situation. By the middle of season 10, Portia and Shamia pretty much repaired their relationship. And things were, pretty much kosher between the two of them. Even though things were kosher, I always felt like Shamia was blinded by loyalty to Portia because they've been friends since they were kids. And I can understand how that can be. I mean, there have been friends that I've had that I've been close to and connected to since I was a child myself. And the thing about it is, people would tell me that that's not your friend. He's not your friend. He don't see it for you. He wants to be like you. He wants to do this like you. He wants to do that like you, and things like that. And I never wanted to believe it, but in hindsight, this was true. You feel what I mean? Like it was very motherfucking true. So I always felt like in the back of my mind, there was a there was a tinge of jealousy when it came down to Portia. And when I say that there was a little bit of jealousy when it came down to Portia, I'm not just talking about Shamia. There were other things that happened. Like when her sister got pregnant, she acted like she was jealous of her because she had a baby before her. It was kind of weird and kind of ridiculous the way that she acted towards her sister when everything went down. By season 13, Shamia was now labeled as Portia's lapdog. And they even poked fun at that whole thing and made a post on Instagram with Shamia posted up as a dog. And I thought that that was completely embarrassing. I'm like, Shamia, why the fuck is you out here like going out sad like this? Like really going out sad, making yourself look muff crazy. Like, what's wrong with you, girl? Like, that's how I feel. Like, what's wrong with you, girl? What's wrong with you? But that's how but that's the way it felt, and that's how it was. So then after that, um, Portia and Shamia both were no longer on the Housewives of Atlanta. So now it's season 16, and they're both having peaches. Now let me give you a little something that I heard. Now this ain't nothing that I'm making up. These are things that I heard. And I even told y'all about these things when the show first started filming. Now, if you listen to Speak On It with Candy, when Shamia was explaining how Portia was when she found out about her, being able to be on the show and shit like that, it did come across very suspect. And it came across like Portia really wasn't too happy about her being on the show. But in the streets of Atlanta, before I even got here, I was told that Portia did not want Shamia on the show. I was told that Portia did not want to film with Shamia at the beginning. She didn't even want to film with her. I was told that the narrative that was going to be placed on this show was that Portia wasn't a good friend to Shamia, starting with the birthday party that Shamia threw for herself. And as you can see, that is the narrative that's being put out there. I told y'all, I just tell y'all what I hear in the street. I always say allegedly. I never say that it's the Bible, and I never say that it's true. But I always tell y'all what I've heard. I always give y'all a little bit of gossip, a little bit of tea. But that's what I heard. And I heard that Shamia and Portia falls out towards the middle to the end of the season. And as we can see, they're not in a good place. They're not. Now, I'm not here to make Shamia out to be no victim or anything like that because no one's a victim. Um I do think that Shamia was more of a friend to Portia than Portia was ever a friend to Shamia. I've always felt that way. Um, I don't know, but I would tell you what I think at the end of the day. I feel like this. If Portia was my friend, my childhood friend at that, if Portia was my friend and she sat idly by and watched me get drugged by her new friend and watch me get drugged and watch this lady lie on me and all that other shit. If I was Shamia, me and Portia would no longer be friends. I promise you we wouldn't. Like, there is no way I could ever be friends with a muff that'll sit there and do something like that. But that's just me though. Everybody ain't like me. Everybody don't do what I do. But I'm just telling y'all, if it was me, I could never still be friends with Portia. And even if we do move past it, it'll never be the same, in my opinion. It couldn't be the same because I would never ever trust your ass again. I would never trust you. I would never ever um feel like you would ever have my back in anything. Like, and that's just the truth of the matter. Like, I would feel like you would never have my back. I would feel like you're always gonna flip. You will always turn on me. You will never look out for me, and all this other stuff. So that's what I would take from the whole thing. If I was Shamia, I just don't think that Portia has it in her to being a good friend to anybody, just based off of the things that have happened between her and Shamia, and the things that have happened between her and Candy. How quick she is to flip on somebody, and even what's going on between her and Drew. Like, the way that she's attacking Drew is really not that deep. I don't even think their beef is even that serious right now, but she's making it that serious, if you ask me. So I don't know, but I just felt like this was a very interesting history lesson on the friendship of Shamia and Portia. And I'm very, very much so interested in hearing what you guys would have to say in the comment section. I love to see what y'all got to say, even if you don't agree. But y'all, this was the first episode of Friend or Foe. This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you could be whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, your boy's up out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.